Yeah, it's still pretty mild right now, so you may be thinking more about unwrapping your Christmas presents than wrapping up your home to protect it against the freezing temperatures. Well, the city water bureaus, fire departments, county officials, they all say we should be thinking about those things so we're not left out in the cold next week. Leaving home for the holidays? Well, this could save you from headaches and costly repairs when you get back. Before you go, open the cabinet doors in your kitchen and bathroom to let heat get to the pipes. And let your faucet drip slowly on cold. That'll keep the pipes thawed and save you money on hot water. In fact, it's a good thing to do even if you're staying home. Outside, wrap up your faucets and hose bibs with foam insulation. You can get that at the hardware store, unless, of course, they're sold out.
If you used rags or newspapers wrapped in plastic wrap, that would provide some good insulation for your outside faucets.
So you wrap some newspaper or a towel, cover it with a plastic bag, some duct tape, and that is enough to keep it from freezing.
It's a good DIY method.
If you haven't done it yet, something else you should do right now, figure out where the water comes into your house, because you may need to shut it off if a pipe freezes and breaks.
They might be in your garage, they might be on the front of your house. So just take a little walk around your property and make sure you know where those emergency shut-off valves are. It's good to know that in an earthquake as well.
Well, coming up tonight on Katu News at 6, we'll talk more about what you might have to do when those pipes do break and about heating your home. You're probably going to be cranking the heat up next week. How to do it safely. That's all tonight at 6.
The Portland Bureau of Transportation says with a holiday weekend, they expect more people out on the roads. With the incoming weather, staff with PBOT tell us they had to cancel vacations for hundreds of essential employees to get ready for ice and snow.
Really, the essential work for the other essential workers, they keep those roads clear so that our ambulances and fire trucks and everyone else can travel through the city and respond accordingly. So that service is so crucial in this time, and our folks know it.
PBOT says they're prepared to use tools like anti-icer, salt, and plows.
We'll decide that according to the situation itself. There's a lot of on-the-ground decisions that our folks have to make once they're out in the field, and they're the experts at what to apply and when, and to make sure that those roads stay as safe as possible for folks.
ODOT tells us with this kind of storm, it's often tough to plan ahead.
We can't use de-icer when it's raining because it just washes off the road. Everything else, the sand, the salt, the plows, we really can't use those until there's something on the road to put sand on or salt on or to plow.
Both PBOT and ODOT tell us they will be focused on the higher elevations, and they're urging drivers to avoid places like the West Hills or stay cautious when out on these roads.
With the holiday travelers, we're going to see a lot of people out there on the roads, and that's going to make it more complicated. We want everybody to be careful. They need to look out for the equipment out there on the roads. Give the plows, the salters, the de-icers, the sanders, give them a wide berth.
Don Hamilton says if ODOT does use salt, it will be on the interstates and Sunset Highway. The Department of Transportation has salt stored and ready to go across Portland and in the Columbia River Gorge.
Yes, I did. I'm at Fire Station 4, and right now it is so cold outside, I can barely feel my hands. And about 10-15 minutes ago, there was actually a little bit of snow coming down, and you can kind of see it accumulated a little bit on this car. And it's only expected to get colder, and firefighters will be facing the cold as they respond to calls this weekend. With expected severe weather over the weekend, Portlanders' level of concern varies.
I think it's not going to get too bad, hopefully, and most people know this type of year the weather comes through.
I would say a lot of people here don't know how to drive in the snow, so there's probably going to be a bit of chaos on the roads.
Firefighters are expecting more calls this weekend because of the cold.
Yeah, usually when we start to see snow and stuff, we have people, venturing out and stuff. They don't realize how slick it is, so we get lots of falls.
Especially for homeless people without a shelter.
These folks are living out in tents and stuff, so they don't have necessarily the things to keep them warm and to keep them safe.
Lieutenant Josh Greason told us when the snow starts, it will delay their response time simply due to road conditions.
We encourage you to take public transportation, keep the roads clear so that we can still safely respond.
Now, firefighters carry extra uniforms, extra gloves, and they also rotate crews if it gets too cold out there.
Well, of course, there's nothing wrong with using a space heater, for example, for a little extra warmth, but fire officials say you want to make sure and plug it directly into a wall outlet. You do not want to put it in a power strip like this because you just can't handle it. This could melt and start a fire. Now, it's a pretty simple rule to remember, but if you forget it, well, it could be dangerous. In fact, it could be deadly. Think back to last February's ice and snowstorm. Several people died, and there were many, many more close calls when people lost power, tried to heat their homes with gas-powered generators, barbecues, and camp stoves.
We don't want folks to bring in outdoor heaters to heat the indoor space, because when they're burning and they're using up that fuel, they're also burning oxygen, which is something that we all need. So keeping those heaters that are designed for outdoors and not indoors is something that we would like to see.
With the holidays here and temperatures plummeting, it makes sense people would be putting their fireplaces to work, but that means they'll be cleaning them out more often too.
When you're taking those ashes out, we want to make sure that they're put into a metal container and that you soak them thoroughly and then keep them 10 feet away from your house. We do see fires across the state where, it's those ashes that are left, on a back deck in a plastic container or something, and it only takes time, and then you have a fire there on your deck.
The fire marshal reminds you to only use dry, seasoned wood and pellets for fireplaces and wood stoves. Make sure you have a screen around them and keep 3 feet of space between any heat source and anything that can catch fire.
It takes a matter of minutes, seconds, really, to turn a joyful afternoon or evening into something where you're calling the fire department because you've got a fire in your house.
Well, and home heating fires come in second only to cooking fires every year in Oregon. With that in mind, the fire officials say always have a smoke detector and a carbon monoxide monitor in your home. Make sure they're in the right places and make sure they work. They should be tested once a month.